The alert came at 2:17 a.m. Not loud, not urgent, just a vibration against the glass table beside my bed, soft enough to feel accidental. I stared at the words until they rearranged themselves into meaning, until my pulse slowed enough to let me think. Outside, the city was still pretending to sleep. Inside my head, something old and patient finished counting. 3 days. I pictured the server room without seeing it, the architecture I designed in quiet rooms, the dependency tree no one else understood because no one else bothered to read past the first layer. I imagined him now, the CEO's son, standing behind a wall of screens, smiling with his teeth while everything collapsed behind his eyes. I didn't smile. I rolled onto my side and let the phone go dark, because this moment had already happened. I had just been waiting for the system to catch up. My first day at work smelled like glass cleaner and confidence. They walked me through the building like a trophy they hadn't decided whether to keep. People nodded, some smiled too hard, some didn't look at me at all. Then he appeared, expensive suit, casual cruelty, the kind of man who inherits power and mistakes it for intelligence. He looked me up and down once, slow, deliberate. Then he smirked. "We don't need a pretty face," he said, loud enough for the room to hear. "This is a real company." A few people laughed, quietly, safely. I nodded, because nodding is easier than explaining the weight of silence. I didn't defend myself, didn't argue. I asked one question instead. "Who designed your core operating framework?" He blinked, just once. "Before my time," he said. "Why?" "No reason." That was when I knew. Not that he was cruel, that he was careless, and carelessness always leaves fingerprints. I left before lunch. No scene, no speech. I walked past security with the same badge they'd given me an hour earlier and dropped it into the bin by the exit. They thought I was offended. That was the lie they told themselves so they wouldn't have to ask harder questions. The truth was quieter. In my bag was a slim drive containing something they didn't know existed, a provisional operating patent I had filed months earlier, a fallback system embedded into their infrastructure during a consultation phase they never audited. They never read the clauses, never traced the dependencies. Why would they? The CEO's son had already decided what I was worth. For 3 days, nothing happened. They congratulated themselves on dodging a problem hire. He told the story at lunches, polishing the punchline. I watched, remotely, silently. On the 4th morning, the first subsystem failed. Not catastrophically, just quietly. Processes stalled. Automation hesitated. Engineers blamed updates, then vendors, then each other. By evening, 80% of the system was non-functional. That's when the calls started. Unknown numbers, blocked IDs. I answered one. "Please," a voice said. Not his, someone lower, someone afraid. "We don't understand what's happening." I let the pause stretch. Then I said, "You removed the wrong component." Silence, then breathing, fast, panicked. "Can you fix it?" "Yes." Another pause. "At what cost?" I closed my eyes, not from anger, from relief. "You already refused the price," I said. He came to see me the next day. No suit this time, no smile, just a man carrying the sudden weight of consequences. "You planned this," he said, not accusing, realizing. I handed him a folder. Inside, timestamps, filings, architecture maps, the truth, documented, boring, unavoidable. "You insulted me," he said weakly. "That's all this is." I shook my head. "No, you dismissed me." He looked at the papers again, like they might change if he stared hard enough. "You could have warned us." "I did," I said, "on my first day." His hands started to shake. The board removed him within a week. Officially, it was mismanagement. Unofficially, it was fear. They offered me a position, then equity, then apologies. I declined all of it. I didn't want the company. I wanted the quiet certainty that comes from knowing exactly who you are when tested. I watched the building from across the street one last time, glass reflecting a city that never learns. People like him will always believe power protects them. People like me understand systems, and systems remember everything. I turned away before the lights came back on, because some victories aren't meant to be seen. They're meant to be felt by the ones left standing in the dark.